something that you want to do?
I'm not
though?
being a chicken. I don't want to be the first Māori, anything like someone's going to confer that upon me. If I want to be something, I'll be it by myself with nobody's help, and least of all, this view from certain Europeans that I can't make it unless they help me. That's inverse racism, and I've opposed it all my career.
Has been the Prime Minister somewhere?
Is that something that
Is that
in the plan? Though?
Anybody can be the Prime Minister, have a look at that.
Well, tuatahi, te rangatira, tino mihi ana ki a koe. E hoki muri ana ngā mahara. There's a famous video that I've watched for years, actually. This is the whakapau mahara in Whananaki. You were getting pōwhirira onto your marae, and Eri Mahenari done the famous do. That must have been amazing to be there. Poiano, I say that not to be funny or anything, but ki te tohu, I want to say that was in the mid to late 80s even. And hei tohu ki a tātou i te roa o mahi, I roto i tēnei ao tūrangapū, e tohu ki a tātou I ahu mai koe I hea anō hoki. Nō reira, e mihi ana ki a koe Matua. Thank you for taking time to come and have a kōrero with all your iwi Māori. Kei konei. So, pātai tuatahi, here are the Iwi Chairs. Kei te pēhea.
Yep.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
Kia ora.
I noticed that Willie Jackson was here.
Yes.
Just a little point for you all to remember that when their canoe came down from the north, they passed by a place up north because it was leaking and they came ashore to fix their boat up. And they, in their own story, the Mātua to a canoe, the original arrivals, in their own story, they say the local people helped them fix their boat. Well, guess who the local people were?
I love how we got straight into waka kōrero. I love the
It's
waka
not my
kōrero.
story, it's their story. You know their legend.
Nā
It's
tika.
evidence of who got here first. Not just now, but the next 3 months.
I actually tautoko you te hiko o te ika is the final Hawaii. Hoi anō. Nā, e mihi ana.
Yeah, and as a veteran in politics, you may very well have been there when that waka was being repaired.
And you're right, and amongst my people, age is a respected thing.
Oh, kia ora. Tēnā te, eke, eke.
Matua, what are you most proud of
Yes.
over the last 3 years of the achievements of your government for te iwi Māori?
Well, I've got a list of 3 or 4 pages of what we've done around this country, all over New Zealand. I mean, we get a lot of criticism, but this is a can-do profession. If you look at all the projects all around New Zealand, nothing even remotely matches that compared to what we've done with the Provincial Growth Fund, now the Regional Fund. And if we had more, if we had more support, we'd have far more money to do the job. But everybody keeps on giving you a microlight, expecting you to fly to the moon.
Tarohia ngā pātai.
Yeah.
Matua, there's been a lot of kōrero
Yep.
Yeah.
over the last few days. And to be honest, a lot of the kōrero from the people is all about how do we change the government. Ne? Now, if you were to get back into government, how do we change like the outcomes? Because there's been a lot of uauatanga, a lot of hardship for te ao Māori in the last few years. How do we make it better? How can we all work together to ensure that we get a lot more positive outcomes for us?
Well, first of all, look, there was a COVID inquiry that was reported to Parliament the other day. It's an absolute disgrace. It's a total cover-up, because what happened here was that the politicians got sucked in by so-called experts about this issue, and they didn't know what they were dealing with. And as a consequence, the loss to this country has been colossal. And of the $62 billion they spent, half of it even didn't go to COVID. These are all facts. And meanwhile, we know that those who were between 12 and 17 should never have been given a second vaccine.
Okay.
100,000 were, that's young people, and they're going to be affected by this going into the future. And so when you're talking about these issues, are you suggesting to me that the very people who did that are fit to be in the government? I mean, there's Mr. Hipkins, he denied of this knowledge, And there was Asia Beryl, the Minister of Health, who denied that they were told, don't give them the second vaccine. And there are tens of thousands of young Māori who got the second vaccine, should never got it. And when the consequences come and they die early or get affected by a truncated life, who's going to stand up and say that you did something about it? Well, at least I can say something. Because unlike every other politician, I went down and saw those protesters because I didn't believe in the podium of truth. And I never thought for a moment that they had the answer. And right now you've got a guy called Fauci in front of the Congress of the United States being hammered there because he was the guy that did the same thing that we did in our country. So if you want to talk about that, they left us as a consequence massively in debt in 2023, inflation at 7.5, and everything going in the wrong way. And all of a sudden you think you're going to forget that and change the government. I've come down to tell you what's going to happen in the next election.
Kia ora.
You can tell me to...
Matua.
You can tell me to naff off, but I'm here to tell you what's going to happen.
No. I'm not going to tell you this.
I'm going to change
I'm
the
saying
paper.
that by Anyway.
This is not my first walker ride.
Matua, what does a constructive relationship between iwi and Crown look like to you?
Oh, the reality is, first of all, the Māori Women's Welfare League is a critical body that should be better funded. The Māori Wardens are a critical body, should be better funded. Every effort we've made to do it in the past has never been supported by the old parties, but we'll get back and do it again. Then iwi by iwi, it's about the economic development, and guess what? It's about a safe, affordable house. It is about access to health system, albeit hopefully not for yourself, but if you should have fall ill or for your family. The third is getting on the escalator of education and going as far as you possibly can, which frees people up to be the best they possibly can, free to be equal if they choose to be. And the last thing is first world wages. Those are the only four things I'm focusing on. You can have all the other esoteric things, 1,000 things you want to do, but those are the four I'm going to stay on because that's what the trouble of the New Zealanders at the moment is. The cost of living is way more than it should be. And it's going to get worse. The cost of power is going to get worse because they don't want the old parties to take the right steps to change it.
Matua, I'm sure everyone in the room will agree with me when I say everyone wants you to become the first Māori Prime Minister.
I can't be
Is that something that you want to do?
I can't be the first Māori Prime Minister any more than Barack Obama was the first black Prime Minister because he was half white.
Is that something that... Grab the pedals, fun.
Yeah.
Is that something that you want to do?
I'm not being a chicken. I don't want to be the first Māori, anything like somebody's going to confer that upon me. If I want to be something, I'll be it by myself with nobody's help, and least of all, this view from certain Europeans that I can't make it unless they help me. That's inverse racism, and I've opposed it all my career.
Is being the Prime Minister something...
Is that something that...
Is that a
is that in the plan? Though?
Anybody can be the Prime Minister. Have a look at that. Look, anybody can be the Prime Minister. I've never seen a collection of useless people being the Prime Minister. Don't laugh. It's not a joke.
Oh.
Some of these people couldn't organise a school tuck shop.
Ngā te kaungunu?
Pairum Baba, Ngā te Kahunga Iwi Chair. Tuatahi, me mihi kātuki ki a koe. You're the most experienced politician in Aotearoa. You've been the Deputy Prime Minister in this term and all the other achievements in the political realm. We acknowledge the Regional Growth Fund and those things. But we can't go past the fact that this coalition government has been an enemy to iwi Māori. We've felt attacked on every front. Kei te toho pukuriri tonu mātou on different kaupapa. And when we peel back the onion, oftentimes, you know, we come back and it comes straight back to New Zealand first.
Is this a question?
Get in there, get in there.
It comes back to the party that you represent, Winston. And so my question to you is, how can iwi Māori have confidence in a party that so blatantly attacks us, the treaty, our language, and our culture? Tēnā koe.
It's because when I was a young person, I was taught from my elders that there were certain people that I should study and admire. One of them was a man who got a law degree in a record time for anybody in this country. His name was Apirana Ngata, somebody who I admire, whose books I've read, whose learnings I've read, and his correspondence with Buck and Pōmare, two brilliant men as well. And then there was a man called Carroll, the first person ever to win a European seat, from Gisborne. And those 4 or 5 leaders were standout models not from my area, not from my tribe, but I learned to be a great admirer of them and study their works, and I take their view of the Treaty of Waitangi as being accurate, not something dreamt up by some universities' sociologists of late. And I'm not against the Treaty of Waitangi. I began the biggest land case ever in recent time as I was a young lawyer, and took on the then Labour Party in 1974 to 75, when they were taking all our land of us on the coast, the Tongarewa Council, and the then Labour Party. And at a marae one night, a woman said, I know what I'll do, I'll start a Maori land march. Her name was Whina Cooper. Right, so don't tell me about my record. When it comes to West Coast leases, who settled that? Mount Hikurangi, who settled that? One after the other, we've done it all over this country, time and time again, an unparalleled record. And you're telling me that somehow my party can't be trusted. Well, I'll put my party's performance up against all the other parties put together since I've been in politics these last 48 years.
Just before we go to Matua Tuku, would you take him back?
Hang on. He was on a panel before, this morning. You don't go from being the panel to be a questioner. Sorry.
Papa.
No, he wasn't on the panel this morning. It was a late swappage.
I saw he's on the list.
He was a late
Hey,
swap.
he's-
He's a late swap.
Anyway, pātai.
I was replaced.
How does that change anything?
That's right. Can I turn your attention to the RMA? Winston, time and time again you say to us that there's only but one law in this country. And yet the very rights that have been enshrined in our settlements across this country have been breached as a result of this RMA that you and this government are pushing through. More than that, we have challenged Minister Bishop that on his at his side is Minister Court, member of the ACT Party, who has a social media page attacking Māori. And we've asked Bishop to cut him loose because clearly he has a conflict of interest. I'll come back to the primary concern that we have. Our settlements are being breached across this country as a result of the changes that your government are making to the RMA. It is a complete contradiction to the stand that you continually make that there is only but one law in this country. What is obvious here is that the changes to this law is a complete denial of our legal right, enshrined by previous governments, and actually achievements that we're all very proud of. Kia ora.
Look, there's a pattern developing here. I got an hour at this forum, and 2 questioners have just got up and given a speech. You see that valuable time that's being wasted here? The second thing, if you go back to 1990, you'll see a piece of legislation called the Maori Development Act, which I brought in and made sure there was a Section 5, which said that every government department would be answerable and be capable of being monitored by the Ministry of Maori Development. That's the change we made. It's still there now. Have they given it the resources? No, they haven't. Because you all remember what happened. I was the minister that did that, brought it in, and preserved the budget, and then it got fired by Jim Bolger because he didn't like me talking about their economic policy, which was a disaster for New Zealand under Ruth Richardson, you recall her. You had Rogernomics and then you had Ruthernomics, and I got fired as a consequence. It only lasted till September of that year. But my real point is that the protection for Māori is in that legislation. It's not in the resource management legislation. The resource management legislation came in 1991, and all those years it's got worse and worse and worse because instead of being fixed properly, it's been amended and amended and amended to these days. It paralyzes all applicants, including tens of thousands of Māori are being delayed and held back too because of the process. And all we want to do is sharpen it up. Now, if you're talking about the ACT Party, well, they say imitation is the most sincere form of flattery. But the ACT Party's got no idea about the Māori world. And that's a fact. They've got no idea about the Māori world, no record in the Māori world, but that doesn't go for my party. Not for me, or for Shane Jones, or for the hundreds and hundreds of Māori who are in my organisation. But we happen to call ourselves New Zealanders. just like Whina Cooper said when she said, we signed the treaty to become one people.
We've got a pātai down here, Matua. He's from Yorohe, Ngāti Kahu.
Yes, I'm a nephew of Shane Jones. Yeah, kia ora, JJ Rupi koe Ngāti Kahu ki Whangaroa.
Perfect.
Ana kini.
I'm keen to understand what value, if any, you see in the National Iwi Chairs Forum with an ongoing relationship with New Zealand First. And if there is any, what does that ongoing relationship look like if somehow you make another appearance in this next government?
I love the way you finished that off. Somehow you make an appearance in the next.
It was pretty good. That was a quick question.
Hey, what planet have you been living on? I'll tell
Shane
you
Jones
something.
is-
I'll tell you one of the greatest motivations in my life, because it's relevant to New Zealand politics. But this man was the military advisor to the Filipino government, the Philippines government, before the Second World War, and he went down to see the president of the Philippines, and the staff told this man, the president's too busy to see you. Now, remember what he said? He said, you go tell your president, there'll come a time and soon, he'll want to see me far more want to see him. Well, that's the kind of moment you guys are going to be in the next 3 months. Seriously. And that's what we got. Now, you tell me what the Iwi Forum, well, I don't know what the answer to that is, but you've invited me to be here, and I'm here. Is that good enough?
Do you see any value in it, though?
Well, of course I see value in communications. But here's the point here. Look, I mean, I have looked back on my own history in the Maori world. Maori are extraordinarily conservative people. So why are so much of our values decked these days? Because we're too scared of the leafy suburbs and the bureaucrats in Wellington, so we go along and conform. There's a lot of things about the Maori world that's far more conforms with conservative philosophy than what I might call radical or left-wing philosophy.
Ka pai, kei Murira.
Kia ora, tēnā koe. Hayden Priest, Hokutihi Moriori Trust, Rekohu, Wharekauta Chatham.
Can I just make one statement? Let me give you an example. We produce the best salmon in the world, 40% higher price than any other market anywhere else as capable of being owned by New Zealand because we grow the best salmon in the world. Ngai Tahu applies for a salmon farm. What happened? The whole thing got bogged down and clogged down. One party came and said, no, we're for Ngai Tahu getting that salmon farm and as fast as possible. Because we can see tens of thousands of jobs in the long-term future and millions of dollars of profit.
Thank you.
For our country.
Yeah, kia ora. The Minister of Fisheries has retained a $6 million
Come forward. Harama.
scampi quota from the economic exclusion zone of Rekohu, Wharekauta, Chatham Islands.
Did you say scampi?
Yes, and it's been used as a political lever for the amalgamation of our local government. But just wondering why he has chosen to retain the 20% promised to iwi and Emion Island, which has caused a huge barrier to social, economic and cultural deliveries for iwi and Emi. What's the justification?
Well, I can't answer that question. I'll find out for you.
Please.
But no way should anything like that being used as an incentive or a spur to an amalgamation that you're not agreed with. Either the amalgamation is agreed and it's the right thing to do on its own merits or not. But any ancillary or associated facts like that should not be part of the discussion. I'll be happy to talk to him about it. But, you know, because I think that Chatham is an extraordinarily exceptional place. It's a very, very sad history. I remember going to see Solomon's house. The tragedy of that is I cannot understand how come this man's last house was not even preserved. Some of you might remember it if you're old enough, but I was there at the time wondering why isn't this house not a monument itself, not just a burial ground, but the place where he last lived, the last Moriori, full Moriori, so to speak. But I'll go back and find out from Shane Jones what the story is and make sure, how should I put it this way, that I correspond to you and you get a fair go.
Ka pai, we appreciate your
Well, when you do
continued
that, don't forget who did it for you.
support. There's some coda in it for you.
We've got
I got to tell you, mate.
yeah.
I got to tell you, mate. I don't want people fast on the lip and slow on the hip.
one of the descendants of Tāpira Ngata. Here we go.
Kia ora Winston, Raniera Proctor, Ngai Tā Manuhiri. Just wanted to make an observation on your role models, Apirana, Carol, and the like, and the vehicle that allowed them to enter into Parliament, being the Māori electorates.
Kia ora.
And I reflect back in 1996 when the Type 5 absolutely swept those very electorates. Some of them sitting in the room. Koe anō, I don't want to get into a kauhau, a lecture. However, why have you and your party come out now and describe those very electorates, the vehicles that afforded your role models, my role models, the ability to enter into the House and the protection of the voice of the Māori? Why are they now described as being separatist and divisive?
Look, thank you very much for the question. I'm so pleased you've asked, and I've got a chance to answer all Māori and Māori in the whole country in one go.
Nice.
I'll tell you what, it's 1990, and I'm forcing the National Party to have in its manifesto that they're going to have a change to our electoral system, that we're going to give people a chance to choose an alternative first past the post. And as it was, that within 2 years, 1992, we have a referendum of a runoff of 4 options to contest against first past the post in 1993. And MMP won the 4 option runoff. In 1993, MMP beat the first past the post, and the people in this country all voted for it by a significant majority. And so in comes MMP. Now, MMP at the time said this, and so did the Commission. In time, it'll prove to the Māori people that there's no need for the Māori seats because there'll be so many Māori in Parliament. And as a consequence, we've got up to 28% of Parliament with Māori or some background of Māori in it, and all of a sudden they're saying, oh, yeah, but you haven't got the right quantum of blood. You see that? I've heard these people say that. Oh, yes, you have. You've heard Scribble say that to me. You haven't got the right quantum of blood. How's that for cheek? How's that for cheek? To say to me I haven't got the right quantum of blood. I'm not taking that from no one. But what I have done is ensured that Parliament's got far more Māori representation than it ever had when I was only 1 of 4 over 100 and so many years to make a general seat. Only 1 of 4. Carroll was first, then 2 guys in 75 and me in 78, and that's the end of it, before the massive change in the electoral system. And I advocated for the change in the electoral system so that Māori would get greater representation than they have. But then all of a sudden you're saying, oh, yeah, we don't get rid of the seats now, even though we've proven our point. It wasn't my point, it was the Electoral Commission's point, that in time, the seats would be proven to the Māori as not being necessary because so many Māori would be in Parliament.
We're getting to a stage where we're into the election time zone there, 100 days out. 6th of August, the roll closes in terms of getting onto the Māori roll or the general roll. So we're in the time zone of elections. The whānau here have been talking about strategy. How do we make sure we get the most for our iwi? Yeah? Is it like locked in, the right block is going to be national, New Zealand first and ACT. Are you going to be able to work with whoever's in government, or you're going to be deciding whoever's in government, and does it matter which colour they are?
Well, first of all, you know that famous group called Little River Band?
Yes.
They had a song called Hang On, Help's on Its Way. That's number one thing you should know. The second thing is, we're going out in New Zealand first to bust this political system and turn it upside down. I know you're going to be cynical, you're going to laugh at me, but you stand back and watch. We're not going down the polls. These polls will keep going this way because we don't think the country's being run properly. We don't think we're performing nearly enough. We don't see the GDP anything like it should be. GDP has to be 3% even to look after our young people, and it's not. It's below that. And the 2 old parties have had 40 years of massive failure, and we want to change. And this is their chance to change it.
No.
You've
so,
been part.
You've been in the government, Matua, the last 3 years.
Yeah, of course we've been in the government, but have we had the power? No. As I said, you give us the mic, right, you expect us to fly to the moon. You give us a rocket, we'll reach the stars.
So, you're going to be the next major party? That's what you're saying?
I thought you were quite a clever guy when I saw you. You've just proven it to me.
So then what's coming then? You want to change the whole
Now,
system?
the last thing I'm going to do is lay it out here because people are filming this and they're going to start writing about it. No, they're going to learn because it's our timetable and how we do things. I'm going back to a monstrous fundraiser tonight. On Saturday, I'm going to open 2 railway stations in South Auckland, sort of action stations, you know what I mean? And then Sunday's a huge meeting, wall to wall in Masterton. We're going to do it from here on in.
Yeah.
But we're not telling people beforehand what we're going to do. I mean, the one thing that Māori world knows is how to keep a secret.
Ke kone te rangatira.
Winston, Justin Tipa Ngaitahu. Asset recycling infrastructure has been a topical subject in recent years.
iwi aren't going anywhere. Our money stays in this country. Would there be an appetite for a New Zealand First government, or if you're in government, to be working with iwi? We know this government's broke. And in order to recycle some of that capital, would there be an appetite to work with iwi to take ownership of some of our national infrastructure in the interest of keeping that profit and returns in New Zealand and growing for our people?
Kia ora.
Well, I mean, that's where your view is parallel with New Zealand First. We're nationalists. We're sick and tired of our asset wealth being owned by other countries. We think it's a disaster that the old parties sold the BNZ, for example. Labor sold 1/3 of it, and National sold the rest off. And when it was sold, 6 out of 10 customers banking in New Zealand were with the BNZ, and they flogged it off to ABC, to NAB Australia. Then, of course, the Labor Party under Jim Anton started the Kiwi Bank, and they made Jim Bolger, as some sort of cynical appointment, the chairman of the Kiwi Bank board. And you know what he said when he became the chairman? He said, "I've always thought New Zealand should own their own bank." I thought somebody should shoot me now. He flogged off the biggest one, and we are going to take it back. We're taking it back. We're going to buy it off Australia at our terms and our price, and we're going to get back fair competition. So when you're talking about the iwi working with the government, most definitely when it talks about ownership remaining in this country, that's first, second, third and fourth in our book.
Kia ora.
Pai tērā. Matua, you've also been, just recently actually, the announcement of the Te Reo Pākehā bill.
Becoming an official language in Aotearoa.
Yeah.
What was the motive there?
Yeah.
Now, hang on a second. First of all, the English language did not come out of England. It came out of a little village in Germany, hundreds and hundreds of years ago. It just happens to be, though, the language of international commerce, and we're lucky to have it. I've just come back from the ASEAN meeting in the Philippines. You've got all these countries from all around the world all speaking in English, and so are we. So, it's not a matter of being racist or colonist or what have you. We happen to be lucky to have the language of commerce here.
So,
And I'm all for the Māori language, but the reality of all is, what you've got here is all communications is about understanding. And I'm seeing names chosen in a crisis when, for example, there's a fire on, and I don't care what your dreams are, I want the fire engine to get there as fast as possible, not be confused whether they speak Māori or not.
yeah, but what I'm asking though is, it's not necessarily, I'm not talking about whether or not I can speak Māori. What we're talking about is what is the motivation behind making legislating English being an official language.
When it's not under threat at all.
Because, for example, just ask yourself, put aside your prejudice and think about it in a neutral way. Why are all these organisations given a Māori name when the outcomes are so awful, so that Māoridom is suffering in reputation as a consequence? All those organisations have all got a Māori name, and the results are awful. So why should Māori suffer from that? Because some sociologist at university thought it's a good idea. That's what my point is, right?
Just changing tack here. It's very rare that we have an audience with, someone who's been in politics for 100 years. What's the secret? What's kept you coming back? What advice do you have for the young budding politicians and young leaders in the room?
Well, I was a lucky person, I tell you. But you asked me. First of all, an old advisor of mine said, "Go give some good advice, Winston. Don't act your age." It's darn good advice, right? But the second thing, as a student, I'm reading about a man who wrote this thesis over 100 years ago. He wrote about the property and the value of this food. And we had our fair share of it all the way until all to my present life now. And that man wrote a thesis about the value of fish heads. Now, you might laugh, everybody thinks it's poverty food, but all the omega-3 in the greatest concentrations in the fish head, and Ngata wrote 100-something years ago what a wonderful food this was. I was a young guy that read that, and so did my family, and we've been eating them ever since. Plus, if you talk about a cost of living crisis, they're a fraction of what everything else costs.
So that's the secret. Fish heads.
But see, the reality is, we've got a massive problem here. We've got a tsunami of problems coming down the road, and no one wants to confront and talk to Māoridom about a thing called diet. And there's this brilliant leader, all those hundreds of years ago, talking about it then. Why are we talking about it now? And then the figures on Māoridom will be much more dramatically, longevity will be our future. But no one's doing it.
So the secret to success for you has been diet.
Yes.
Have you got anything final that you want to say? We've got all of the iwis here. We've got some young people, kura here, to listen, that that you might want to get across to the people.
Well, the reality is, people will make all sorts of complaints, but the steps and progress that Māoridom has made in the last 30, 40 years has been seriously dramatic. I was at university at a time you could barely name in one hand how many Māori you were at law school. That's all dramatically changed. We did that with the Manaaki Tau Iwi program in 1990, the greatest injection of Māori students at university ever in this country's history. Everybody's forgotten now, but now that's the pattern these days. And so before we sort of think everything's bad, have a look at some of the things that are good. And on that progress, where some iwi have done extraordinarily well in terms of amassing their assets, build on that, combine that with the state, and yes, you're right, become a part of the sovereign fund, be a shareholder of it, because it'll have this effect. We won't be owned by some other country.
Kia ora.
I te rangatira Winston, anei ngā mihi a ngai tahu me te kāhui rangatira iwi ki a koe. We just want to extend our gratitude for taking the time to come down and face the music today. One half of the room was quiet, the other half was in fits of laughter, but I think e tohu tērā o tō tohungatanga.
I think it was just the front row.
I think we've got the New Zealand Plus Supporters Club here, Jamie and Mook and all these other multi-millionaires. Oi anō. Just extend our gratitude for you showing up and giving us the respect to be here today. There was only one party that didn't show face. We don't need to name them, but they were invited. But we certainly acknowledge you for taking the time during a sitting week in Parliament. E te rangatira Winston tēnā.
Can I say thank you very much? And just one thing, it's a secret ballot, they won't know.
Just a paku FYI, this video was brought to you by Te Rūnanga o Ngaitahu. E mihi ana kia koutou manaaki tiaki nei I o tātou kōrero, and to the main man, Te Haumana, Mr. Justin Tipa. Tēnā koe o tira tēnā koutou. And e te whānau, if you like this content, make sure to heart, like, subscribe, and also share away. Leave us a little bit of a comment. It's awesome. Ngā mihi.